All right, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Thursday night presentation of the bump card. And what we do on every Thursday night, we have a combination of sort. It is a training call / mindset call. And we do this every Thursday. We're here every night of the week almost and things of that nature. And we love doing this. We got a great team, got a great family. And it brings me pleasure to do something this evening that I've known this gentleman almost a year now. I think next month is 1 year, if I'm not mistaken. And we met through another fantastic couple, Ken and Sandy Count. That's how I had the pleasure of meeting this man. And it's just amazing, you know, when you lock arms with the right people, when you surround yourself with the right people, with the like-minded individuals, you know, what can happen in your life, what can happen around you, and what can happen in your business. And so I'm not going to take a lot of his thunder. I'm not going to take a lot of time, but I just want to tell you something. I need all of you to do something. I need you to be present. I really do. What do I mean by being present? If you have your TV on, please turn it off. Respect the person that's here going to go through something with you. I think is very important. Give them enough respect that you are present and you pay attention and you keep copious notes on what's about to happen. Because I know when he steps up and says, I have something I want to cover. When that happens, that's when you go, okay, do what you need to do, okay? I mean, he's been in the industry for over 20 years. He's a multiple seven-figure earner. He knows how to build teams. He knows how to help people, but more than anything, he knows what he's talking about. That's more than anything. So I want to invite each and every one of you just be present. Just relax, open up your mind. I do this every night. Keep your mind open. It's like a parachute. Does you no good unless it's open. And the most expensive thing you'll ever own is a closed mind. I'm going to key phrase that because I say it every single night, and I'm going to keep saying it every single night. So without further ado, let me say this. Mr. Thomas DuBois, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you and your wonderful wife, Laura, in our family, in this company, so on and so forth. It wouldn't be the same building this business without you two here. So welcome, sir. You have the floor.
Thank you so much, Ron. You are just amazing and so much appreciate it and appreciate the opportunity to share with you all. You know, we just went through a time where availability was different. And when we started the launch of the Bump Ring Bump Card and I got my lucky ring on, when we got the technology started here and we started to launch, guess what came along? A few challenges but a lot of time freedom for business owners and people that will use this great technology. And so some of the way we were building and we built rapidly and we built fast was perfect for the time and absolutely awesome and fun to watch and fun to see. What I want to talk to you about tonight is that business owners, which is the main, probably the number one person that we would share this technology with, is entrepreneurs who would like the bump card, bump ring, excitement, technology, ability, to, for instance, as we've shared many times, like, you know, I just saw that almost every restaurant out there is going to have a placard in the middle of your table and you're going to put on a QR code. Well, why wouldn't that QR code be a bump card where that they have tons of information, not just the menu? Okay. So with that being said, as we get back rolling into that, business owners in this touchless time. Now, when we say bump card, bump ring, and we're bumping phones and talking about that, that's a small piece and a small portion of the number of ways we can get this technology out there and share with people. So I'm very excited to know that business owners are busier than they've ever been, trying to put together new guidelines, new stipulations, new things. I'm in a group of medical professionals called Achieve, and they're not really even allowing any new things into their system right now because people are getting their medical practices back up and running, and different things they have to put into place, and are concentrating on that, and they don't want to onboard them with things. So what am I saying here? That sounds a little bit like, oh no, it's going to be hard to share. I'm going to share with you the exact opposite of that we need to do a little bit of changing in our mindset, in our motivation of how we're sharing it and when we're sharing it. And we have to be on top of our game to be able to share it anywhere, anytime, all the time, 24/7 if needed, because you might be the biggest blessing that business owner's ever seen. Because in my eyes, there's not many people that I've talked to that know about digital business cards. There's even though there's been digital business cards around for years, but not that have a platform like we have, not that are as powerful as we have. And what we have is a mobile mini website plus that we get to share with people. So in this time, this specific time that we're in right now, it is more important to get it to people because they're looking for solutions for touchless, for all of those things. So we're going to cover tonight's mindset is on business building mindset. If you got on this call for a presentation, you're going to hear in here ways to go and look at presentations, but this is about how to build and duplicate and to get the word out if you want to make money with the bump card, bump ring. I don't want to mince words, that the mindset tonight is money-making activity, period, okay? This is a call for that I will be expressing what I believe some of the easiest and most duplicatable ways to make money. So massive momentum and duplication, the right activity always produces the right results. Many of what I'm going to share tonight is going to be things that you've already heard in this industry. Some of you might even claim, Tom, you're going old school on us. And I will, but I'll mix in new school a little bit there too. But I happen to believe that anytime, so I've been in this industry over 20 years. I have went through highs and I've went through lows. And each level of taking it up a notch in this industry, when I was reaching the top level of different companies, let's just go with one of the companies. When I was reaching the very, very top level of that company, the thing that would always get me there was, for one, mindset and personal growth, putting my mind on positive things and what will work instead of worrying about what won't work, okay? Two is putting my mind back to the basics of what got me to where I was and what got me to where I am. And that right there is what we're going to talk about tonight. We are going to get so basic and so simple that you might think that you're above that. And if that's the case, then you need this more than anybody. So here we go. So here we go. And I hope that we'll have some fun with this. But we're going to mainly talk about three things tonight. So one is building from meeting to meeting mentality, okay? The schedule is about to change, and I'll let Ron talk about when that's going to happen and how that's going to happen. But Ron, can you just give me a thumbs up if I can talk about one a week thing?
You can actually talk about any of it you want to. You can cover the whole gamut if you like.
Okay. So our scheduling is going to change. Monday is going to become a training day like nobody's business in multiple ways. From Ron, from Shane, from Gordon, from Tony, from all of the best. And it's going to be one or two presentations on that, and actually one for each, a couple to split up the time zones to even help everybody to get it live. and a couple of different possibilities. So Monday is going to be that day, and it's going to be massive. Thursdays is going to be the night, this night, a week from today. So as I go through this training, a week from today is going to be the corporate overview. And so that goes into my training of building a meeting from a meeting. So we're going to cover three things: building a meeting from a meeting mentality. Number two is a now and next to now mentality. And number three is a simple 4-step duplicatable process I call easy peasy mentality. So we're going to cover three mentalities here tonight. We're going to start off with the meeting from a meeting mentality, and it's real simple. Is that I've been taught this since the beginning days of my business. Back then, we would build from one hotel meeting to a hotel meeting, or sometimes from a convention. You know, this can be taught on a bigger level, from convention to convention. But today we're going to talk about it on a weekly basis of building momentum now. Building momentum from today to next Thursday. Now, if Ron decides to throw something out there with the new presentation tomorrow, I'm gonna cheer that on as well. But let's talk about and pretend, no matter what they decide with that new presentation, that from today we're building till next Thursday. So what would be the mentality behind that? Okay. For one, how many people or business owners can you show between now and next Thursday, either one-on-one or in a personal group presentation? It is time for us to get busy on being able to duplicate and show more than just in the evening times. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I would believe that most business owners want to be proposed business ideas during their business day. I would believe that most business owners, now that they're back at their office or whatnot, would prefer showing on their timeline rather than coming on to a nightly overview. Now, I'm not taking away from anything, okay? I'm just here to share with you that if you are prepared to do a simple duplicatable presentation or a presentation with leaders' help, now and next to now, which we're going to get into in a minute, you will grow a much faster, larger business. And instead of trying to herd cats, you can be the cat that goes to their house and bugs them for a meal. So whatever the case may be. So how many people can you show from now until next Thursday, so that follow the momentum behind, so that they can either one of two things: get on Thursday with the best of the best, Mr. Ron Pruitt, for a second look, okay? And for a closing look, and for more detailed look, or get on there to see the bigger picture. We used to teach it, do an in-home, get them to the hotel meeting for the bigger picture. Well, I think nothing's changed in the way people think and the way people are. And if we need a second look, it's still getting them on the bigger picture, professional second look of Thursday night corporate meeting. And so we have that as a power-packed powerhouse. And that is the tool that you pull off and say, hey, I know that I showed you last Thursday. It's almost been a week now, and you don't want the follow-up to be a week now, but let's say that it has. Why don't you do this for me? Why don't you get on tonight, jump on tonight, and just listen in and let the best of the best fill you in on some more information. Okay, so we have that for a second look. We have that for a new person seeing the bigger picture, or here's momentum. if we've been inviting people to a nighttime overview, why wouldn't we want to show a bunch of people during the week in a more duplicatable way for them, and then allow them for their first exposure possibly? But I'm going to teach on another way to do a first exposure. Excuse me, guys, a little hot in my office. Another way to do a little personal exposure is, and we'll talk about that in just a minute, is for them to be able to invite their new people each week to Thursday's meeting. Okay, so you can use it as a follow-up. You can use it as a second look, or you can use it as a first meeting so that your people feel like every Thursday they know what they can invite their family, their friends, their closest business partners to see the bigger picture. Okay, so it can be used for any of those meetings. Do you feel, and I want you to feel the difference of inviting people to a nightly meeting than to showing people all week and letting them get bigger exposed by Ron? My goodness gracious, is that amazing? And that's going to fall into our simple 4-step duplicatable process that is a must if you want to make big money in this organization. It is an absolute must, okay? So think about this for a minute. That imagine if you increase your productivity when you show a business owner on their schedule. So this brings me into now and next to now mentality. Now and next to now mentality, when I heard that years ago, it just, I don't know if I dwelt on it, but it just rung a bell to me. Maybe because I came out of the lifestyle that I was living, and I was just learning personal growth and stuff. And maybe the words now and next to now were just that one little saying that was enough to make a huge difference in my business. And if you'll take little sayings that will motivate you daily and allow them to change you daily, now and next to now is a pretty good non-procrastinating saying for yourself, isn't it? Now and next to now. Many people have heard me teach on now and next to now, and I actually have a full 30-minute training just on that subject, and taking it through all categories. But here, if you want to make big money, if you want to make it faster, if you want to make it quicker, not only with presentation, now and next to now is just as important with getting your people started and training. Okay, we have to start helping our people to get in their back office, guide them to where they need to go and what they need to do, guide them into the build, guide them to the videos of the build, because we don't have to teach anybody anything. The videos do the trick, and it's so easy. But now and next to now mentality, if I could plant that in your head, you'll be thinking about calling. Here's what happens to me all the time. I'll be thinking about calling somebody and they'll come to my mind. And I will start excuses of why they'll be too busy at noon, or why they will not be ready for this at this time because they're too busy. You know, my bad neighborhood right up here in these temples will just start to go nuts. But you know what squashes it every time? Is then my mind goes to now and next to now, and I pick up that phone and I do it. And almost every time it pays off. Almost every time now and next to now pays off in my business, because I'm not putting off what God put on my mind and my heart. Okay. And when I put it off is when, we've all heard the saying, opportunity doesn't go away. It just goes to somebody else. Okay. And so I don't want my opportunities to go to somebody else. I'm a little selfish like that. I like those opportunities to be grabbed upon, and now and next to now we'll do that. So as we're going through the 4-step simple process, each one of those steps, I want you to remember, and I hope I remember to say now and next to now quite a bit on that. For instance, follow-up, 24 to 48 hours. There's not a business owner in the world that will respect anything but follow up. Okay, so we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But now, now mentality in many ways will create for you an urgency in self to go ahead and be the first one. Right now, you have an opportunity to be the first one to many, many people to share this great opportunity. So if you keep procrastinating, I'm going to get to them first because I have now and next to now on my mind. Now, I'm kidding around, of course, but I actually am not, because we've all heard, and I have already tried to share the bump card with somebody that has already been shared with by somebody else. And if that's happening already in this early stages of our business, how important is it? And let's not even go to how important it is, because we usually talk about we used to call it in the old days, I'm just going to say it, the puking corner, where you would go to an event or go get on a Zoom and you see somebody that you were supposed to invite, but you didn't, and they're in business with somebody else in the business they should have been in with you because you're closer friends with them. And then it's uncomfortable. And then we have regret. And regret is one of the worst emotions of life that's why I love Now and Next to Now so much, because it cuts out a ton of regret in my life. Now, sometimes with Now and Next to Now, you're going to have a series of no's. You're going to have a series of things, but you're going to be busy with your list on Now and Next to Now to the point that none of that affects you because the next now is coming up. Okay. So this leads me to, well, let me touch on one more thing with Now and Next to Now. And I call it, as we're going through the 4-step simple duplicatable process, I call it always touching your prospect. Always touching your prospect. And that's booking a meeting from a meeting. We're going to talk about that a little bit more too. But always touching your prospect means if I take them through something, that I'm always setting up what the next touch is. And I'm always got my hand on them in one way or another. I believe it's in one of the karate things that you're always touching that person and you're never leaving their side. So let's jump into easy peasy. And we're going to, in easy peasy, we're going to talk about meeting from a meeting mentality a little bit. And we're going to also talk about Now and Next to Now mentality a little bit. But easy peasy mentality is just like it is. Guys, when I don't think that my business is growing as fast as I think it should be growing, the number one thing that I look at is what I'm doing for my activity, something that every single person in my organization can do. Because if it's something that they can't do, then we're not duplicating, are we? We're not keeping it simple. So everything that I'm about to talk about is all about keeping it simple. On an easy peasy, it goes just like this on the 4th step. Number 1 is exposures. Number 2 is testimonies or referrals or 3-ways or things like that. Number 3 is follow-up and asking for the business, third-party exposure to getting questions answered. And number 4 is duplicating by booking a meeting from a meeting, getting people started correctly, and helping them to be in the process. And easy peasy is duplicating that over and over and over again. So if back when I really understood that I can build a much better business if I get myself out of the way and allow some third-party exposure to do the trick, I call it using the tools that will build my business better than me spilling all over people to build the business. Now, I can sell almost anything to anybody, but I can also sell almost anything to anybody and sell them out of it by saying too much, by not saying less to more, by not using less is more mentality. For one, if we give everybody every detail of the bump card, bump ring, all in one setting, we don't give them any room in their own mind to get creative of what it can do for them, really. We are answering all of their questions, and our mind triggers on questions. So there has to be curiosity for them to go, I wonder if it would do this for my business or not. I wonder, we need to allow them to circulate and work. So number one in easy peasy is exposures. Okay, this whole process that I'm about to go through should be 48 to 72 hour process, not more. Okay, for one, like I said before, when we get to number 3 on follow-up, I need you to think like a businessman. And I can promise you that if you go spend a half hour's time or an hour's time with a businessman to explain a business to him, and you don't do a proper follow-up, for me, and this is the truth, there's many people that would have me in business with them or that did not do a follow-up with me. And so I'm not in business with them because they waited 2 weeks and I went, why did you waste my time? I'm a busy man, I didn't need that. So number one is exposures. Anything can be an exposure. That's up to your liking, okay? An exposure can be a three-party testimony call. So matter of fact, just today, I put a guy in. He's actually signing up tonight or tomorrow morning out of Boca Raton, Florida, and he's and his brother got me on the phone, and I just did a testimony call of why I'm excited about this, and that was enough to put him in the business. For one, it was his brother, and for one, I've known them for a long time. But for two, it doesn't matter what the exposures are. It's a series of exposures to raise their excitement, to ask for the business, to get them in the business. So it goes like this with me. Number one, exposures, review.thebumpcard.me. Review.thebumpcard.me. It's actually going to be more streamlined a little bit now and geared a little bit more for you to use as a prospecting tool. Many take that and put it on their card and use it as a tool. Many use that first exposure of that in their text messages or whatnot. So as we're going through easy peasy, I also want to talk about, as we're building meeting to a meeting, what would I suggest let's just throw out a starting number. If I was to do a text blast campaign and give an initial exposure, I might just be introducing them to my card. And I have one that says, I'd like you to download, this into your contact information. It will be a permanent business card and contact information for me, even if it changes. As you take a look at it, if you know any business owners that would love this technology, please let me know. Hey, hope the family's doing well. God bless you. Whatever. Okay, something like that. That exposure on my card has review.thebumpcard.me or has a video. Okay, so coming very soon, Ron said that I could spill the beans. So coming very soon is training.thebumpcard.me. Training.thebumpcard.me. And the trainings from Monday, from Ron, from me, from Ken Kelm, from Gordon, from Shane, from corporate, the trainings will be going on to training.thebumpcard.me so that we're not confusing a customer on review.thebumpcard.me or a prospect that we're showing. And we have those two separate sites for us to be able to utilize. And that's coming real soon. So training.thebumpcard.me, coming soon. It's not here yet, guys, coming soon. Now, for exposures when prospecting, using the easy peasy 4-step process, Review.thebumpcard.me is a great one. But you can personally go to the YouTube videos on the Bump Card YouTube video page and choose what's going to fit that person. Choose what's going to fit your person, your prospect, your whatever. You also have PowerPoints. Ron just told you that he's about to have a new presentation and a new PowerPoint. I am so excited about it. I actually happen to know that he worked almost 4 or 5 hours on it yesterday alone, nevertheless getting input by a bunch of great people out there. So that's another form. If you're comfortable doing a PowerPoint, that's awesome. Now here's something that maybe some of you haven't thought of, and that's putting a PowerPoint onto your card. And you could flip through it right there with them on your card if you're using it as a prospecting tool. I don't know. I believe it'll work. Or what about, here's what I used to do because I was a belly-to-belly guy. So let's go back to the basics. I would print off and matter of fact, I have Ron's now, the PowerPoint on the customer side of things. And I also have the PowerPoint that he's using now on the compensation plan. I have it printed off. So like a flip chart or a booklet, I could show somebody in person if I wanted to. Now I know with the social distancing and stuff that's a little changed, but also I can have it sitting here right next to me and open and turn to a page that I need real quick if I'm talking to somebody on the phone. So having a PowerPoint printed out for yourself as a tool to use, why not print out a script and put it as big as you can put it in front of your face when you're putting people on initial exposures. Phone calls are number one in my book. If you can get somebody on the phone. In this day and age, the truth is text messaging is about the best way to get somebody initially excited about this. And so we have many scripts out there, and we'll continue to put out many more. So whatever you choose to use for those exposures, there's a 6-minute video, there's a 3-minute, there's that one that Shane did about a month ago. There's a lot of stuff out there. If I want to back up a minute, if the only way that you're comfortable building is getting people to Thursday night, then do it. But now and next to now will tell you that I bet you, if it's a good business owner, anybody in your upline or Ron or other people will also do a PowerPoint at another time if that's the way you want to show them. But on review.thebumpcard.com, the same PowerPoint that Ron would do is on there. It's a recorded of the full presentation. And if you want to give somebody a full presentation on that first exposure, then it's on there. Or you can go and get the recording off of YouTube and just send them that, okay? Number 2 is testimonies, referrals, references, whatever you want to call it. If you get people on a couple of more references, so what is, oh, by the way, back to exposures, going to go back real quick, going to regress a little bit. If I didn't make it clear on my text message, your business card is a great first exposure, especially if you have one of the videos on there from the bump card, okay, off the YouTube channel, or review.thebumpcard.me, okay, whatever the case may be, that's on there, okay? So, so there's no reason that the bump should be an exposure. Bump in my ring should be an exposure, okay? Now from there, though, I got to follow up with a little bit more. So testimonies, 3 ways, or multiple card exposures is number 2. We're talking about the second stage of exposures is third-party testimonies of any sort that we can. Many of you don't know, and the company might come out with their own testimony page, but right now there's a testimony page that you're all welcome to. We're one big team here, and that's period. And it's gonna always be respected. Testimony page is bump card /bump ring testimony. bump card / bump ring power testimony group. I know that's a little bit wordy, but it is what it is. It's the way I started off, and I've just kept it there. So bump card, bump ring power testimony group is a bunch of testimonies. And what our goal now is to do at this early stage in our business is to please go on there, put a written testimony, put a video testimony, put your card up there. That's a place to put your card, just like the bump card, the official bump card page. So whatever the case may be, is it's a lot more important than you think to give them other options of letting their mind start to work on this, showing them different exposures, putting them on that testimony page, and then we'll get to following up, right? A 3-way call is with just it would be like this. Hey, Lynn, I got a friend on the phone, and I'd sure love them to hear why as a strong businesswoman that you got excited about the bump card. Could you please share with them in the next couple of minutes? And then we'll proceed to go from there and get their questions answered. Maybe you can help me with that too. And she's going to just share why she's excited about the bump card. Guys, this goes back to old school, but it works. Third-party calls works better than anything else I've ever done to build a business. If we're getting Shane on the phone, what are we doing? A third-party testimony. It just happens to be the strongest one in the business, right? If we're getting Ron on, what are we doing? A third-party testimony. So let's say we have and is there a time and a place for Ron, Gordon, Ken, and all of those powerhouses to be used for those third-party testimonies? Absolutely. And sometimes it's right after that first exposure. But you got to get somebody and know that they're interested before utilizing your top guns. If they're not interested and you're just putting straight on your top guns, you kind of depleted the duplication process, all in general. And that's not taking away anything from them. It's being honest. But if you're going to put in a big insurance firm, then I'm going to help you to get to the people that you need to close a deal like that, period, okay? We all have important people. We all have big business owners, but they actually would almost rather do business with you than some of the big dogs sometimes. You know, sometimes they might just want to be your big blessing. We underestimate that, and we think the only way to get things done is to go to the top dogs, and nothing taking away from that. It works. Ron, Shane, and Gordon close more deals than anybody in this company, okay? Period. Okay. Besides me. No, just kidding. Just kidding. That was funny, Ron. Okay. So testimonies, the power of it is this. In that process, if you're asking them to go onto a testimony page, you also might say, hey, now we jump into follow-up, and follow-up kind of squeezes into it, right? Nowadays with technology. Because you can say, hey, I'm going to put you on a stream in Messenger with one of the top dogs, Mr. Ron Pruitt. I'm going to put you on a stream with him, and I'm going to connect the dot and let him know that if you have any questions to please hit you up on them. That's one way to do a third-party follow-up, okay? Now, the only thing that makes me nervous about those third stream follow-ups is that we're not asking for the business. Okay, so you got to be able to know that you still have to proceed from there, or ask that third party to proceed from there. Now, using a text message stream, like I might have a strong lady, and I'll just keep using Lynn for an example here, that I might take and say, hey, I'm going to introduce you to Lynn Scribanti. She's in the health industry too, and she's been helping me out with some things. And she can answer any questions that you have because you guys are in the similar industry. So as we build bigger, you might be able to connect a realtor with a realtor and not worry about, guys, you're not duplicating if it's always the top dogs, okay? But you can still put the top dogs in that stream. It could be a 4-person stream. It could be a 10-person stream, okay? It's whatever's comfortable for you. But I suggest going to your sponsor first, because for one, in duplication, if you're not letting your sponsor help you, and the person above them help you, and the person above them help you, and the person above them help you, they don't feel your excitement, you don't feel their excitement, and we miss the team building aspect of it. But if I don't have an answer, I'm going to get it for you. If your sponsor doesn't have an answer, they're going to get it for you. And if we have to go to Ron, Gordon, or Shane, we will. Okay. But in the process, let's learn together. But, you know, you might not, I say this very clearly. Don't use me if you can use somebody that's familiar to them. Don't use Ken. If you have a realtor, use a realtor. And as we get to know each other, and as we build the unity of this one big team, when you see a card for a realtor, take note of it. Take note of it. When you go to the testimony pages or you go to the bump card page, scroll down and take note of what professions are there. And go after those professions. And then also know if that person's wanting to build the business or not. Don't add somebody to a realtor if that realtor doesn't want to build the bump card. Okay, you want to connect them with a third party that will answer questions about the bump card and building the bump card, and that is open and welcome to that. Okay, but not everybody out there with a bump card is in it for anything but building their own business. So don't be afraid to build and ask questions. So I'm going kind of deep into the training here, but on the third party follow-up, it can be a third party call. It can be one of those third party streams. Many of them on Facebook now call them ATM pages, and they pay a lot of money to have somebody do exactly what I just told you to do. So they pay thousands of dollars to put somebody on a text stream to help answer your questions. Guys, are we a family or not? I don't need to pay nobody. I'm gonna put Lynn on, and I'm gonna do it for free. Thank you. So I like free. Okay, so 70% of business is lost in a follow-up, and I think that's an understatement, okay? And here's why. Because that third party is validation to what you've already said to them. And to use a third party, whether it's text stream or whether it's a third party call, which is my preference. So here's what I always do when I'm giving them the exposure or the testimony. For one, I want to bring now and next to now into this. If I'm giving them the exposure, I'm starting off that exposure with, if I, will you? If I send you a 6-minute video, will you watch it for me? Hey, and then I'm gonna give you a call and answer any of your questions and go from there. I'm gonna do now and next to now, and I'm gonna do immediately building that business, and I'm gonna do my follow-up immediately. So don't, on any step of this way, many times we think we have to set appointments for everything in life. That's just not true. You're going to be so much better off if you'll put somebody on an exposure, follow up immediately, or even be on the phone with them. That's real now and next to now. Hey, if I send you a 6-minute video, will you? If you can remember those words, you will expose more people correctly without me going into a deep training on it, because there's a whole deep training on if I, will you. And one night we'll do that. If I, will you? If I send you a 6-minute video, will you watch it today? At the least. Can you watch it right now is even better. Can you watch that 6-minute video right now? And hey, and then I'm going to put you on a testimony page that you can get more information. But I'd like to call you and just see if you got any questions, and from there I'll know how to serve you. Whatever, okay, guys. It's not what you say; it's how you say it. And if you're as excited about me as this bump card and the bump ring and this great company and the great leadership, every aspect of this company I am in love with. Period. And I am proud to have a belief in the leadership, a belief in the product, a belief in the system that I'm teaching you now, to share it with anybody and everybody. I don't care how big of a businessman they are or how small of a business person they are. So, or a nonprofit. We don't want to forget those things. 1, exposures now and next to now in the process. 2, testimonies now and next to now in the process. 3, follow-up, 24 to 48 hours maximum. And if because they're going to tell you if they need more time. Okay. So you have to kind of fit it into your timeline. And 3 days, they say, here's what they say is, every day that goes away that you share with somebody, just take a step backwards. Every day, just take a step backwards. Every day, just take a step backwards. Pretty soon, they can't see you anymore. They don't even remember what you brought them. Matter of fact, somebody put somebody on the phone with me today on a product that I had forgot about because it was a week ago. Because it was a week ago that I put her in the bump card. And so as I put her in the bump card, she also wanted to share with me one of the things that she was doing. But I had forgot about it because it had been a week. And that's not saying anything negative to her. She was busy. We're all trying to get our businesses up and running. But it was a week. And I don't even remember what it was. I didn't, and now I do because she put me on a third-party exposure and it brought it back to my surface. It brought it back to me of what it is. So 1, exposures. 2, testimonies. 3, follow-up. In the follow-up absolutely has to be asking for the business. There's so many teachings on asking for the business. If you're not comfortable asking somebody for the business, I am. Ron is, Ken is, Sarah is, James is, Jeffrey is, okay? See, your people don't intimidate me. Only my people intimidate me, right? Right? My people intimidate me. So I'm willing to ask for the sale. But I want to encourage you to listen to what I said, that a real business person that's busy and in a hurry, they don't respect you if you don't ask for the sale. You have to have that in your mentality and in your mindset that you have to, along the way, be asking for the sale. And you definitely have to find a time where tell me yes, tell me no, don't tell me maybe. But they can tell you that they need more time, okay? But tell me yes, tell me no. So follow up, number 3, okay? So number 4 is duplicating your business by helping people to do what you just did, by sharing with them the process, by number 1, booking a meeting from a meeting. And this is real simple. We've already talked about getting them to Thursday and letting them see a bigger picture themselves if they need that for a follow-up. Okay, but now we're in that we got somebody in. So my first thing is, and I learned this long ago from Ken Kelm. Do you want to build a big or a small business? You want to ask your person that. You want to get what they want out of this. Do you have somebody in mind, a few people in mind? Could you tell me the top 10 people that you could think of that could be blessed by the bump card, by this company, or that want to make money with us? Who would you like to have as a business partner? Questions like that say, book a meeting from a meeting. So I'm going to say, what day next week would you like me to do a personal Zoom for you to help you to get your top 10 people on there, or as many people as they're comfortable with? Maybe they just want to get their first 2 or just get started, okay? And I'm going to book a meeting from a meeting, and I'm going to do a personalized presentation for that person. They're now feeling important. Matter of fact, there's 2 people that are in our organization that for another company, they're doing their launch today for that company, and they're real excited about it. And I had to cancel helping them out to be on here because this process isn't new. This process of booking a meeting from a meeting isn't new. If you can get into their living room and you can do that, then do that. If you can get, but right now, I think the most duplicatable way is a get started Zoom. I know that I will do a Zoom anytime. And if you're not comfortable, do you know the truth is, and I think Ron would agree with me on this, that even on that Zoom, a recorded presentation is almost more duplicatable than if I did a PowerPoint. It's almost more duplicatable than if I did a PowerPoint. So I might show them and then do a Q&A with their personal people. See, there's a big difference of doing a Q&A with somebody's personal family, friends, top business owners. And one of the things that we have the opportunity here with is to ask people who their top business associates with. Who do you collaborate with and do business with on a regular basis that you would like to also bless with this technology? And that would be a great first exposure meeting to duplicate your new person into getting started and to booking a meeting from a meeting. So I gave you some detailed information on all of that. Each one of these steps could have its own training. So easy peasy, number one, exposures, review.thebumpcard.me, YouTube channels. So here's how fast this get started training can go. 2, testimonies, 3-way call, 3-way text, 3-way whatever to help them to get their questions answered. 3, follow up and ask for the business. 4, book a meeting from a meeting to get people started. 5, do it all over again and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. Now, I want you guys to really hear my next thing. Now, every time that Ron gets in front of these people with the Thursday night presentation, they know that they're getting the best of the best. They know they're getting one of the partners. They know that on Monday in the by the way, Mondays in the afternoon, I believe, I'm not going to quote times here, but I believe at 2 o'clock Eastern, but I'm not sure about that. But we're gonna do Q&As from corporate. They're gonna be structured Q&As and different things like that. And then there's gonna be 2 trainings on Monday night by both of them. So we're gonna be able to duplicate that really easy. But we're gonna build this thing with duplicatable now and next to now, easy peasy mentality from here till there. And guys, you can tweak this however you want, but don't tweak from a system that can duplicate. See, if Lynn can do, Lynn, raise your hand if you can do what I just said. Okay. Ron, can you do what I just said? Absolutely. So if everybody can do what I just said, now we're building a strong and fast business. Also, we have the freedom to take what we're doing with the regular everyday Joe, myself, and take it and step it up a notch now to the best of the best and say, Ron, this guy has 75 agents. I would really like to bring you in for a one-on-one with him. Could we schedule that? Now if Ron, I know this seems like, and I know that you don't take it this way, but if Ron's the only person they're seeing, and this isn't taken away from Ron, then where is another exposure? Because we gave him the best. If you just give him the best, give him the best, give him the best, it's hard to, it's awesome. It works. It works. It's just not as good as now and next to now and building up your own team. See, when you got this easy peasy duplicatable process down, there's not a person on your team you're not afraid to call for a 3-way. There's not a person on your team you're not afraid to do whatever, because you're all doing the same type of situation, and you're all now and next to now on it. Many people try to set appointments with me to do 3-ways and stuff. Just call my phone. Many people, if Lynn sponsored you into the business, I just keep picking on Lynn because she's on my screen over there. If Lynn puts her sister in the business, Lynn's sister needs to know, might put off a text, and I might do this to Ron even. Hey, I'm going to hit a few big business owners. I might just need a testimony and a few questions answered, and I'm going out to do that right now, okay? And now we're doing now and next to now, okay? But if you start with your sponsor and you're building them up, and then they're getting as good as Ron, and then they're building them up, and you're building them up, and you're building them up, Now we're building leaders stacked on top of leaders, stacked on top of duplicating leaders, stacked on top of duplication, stacked on top of duplication, stacked on top of leaders. And everybody you call, you know what you're going to get every single time. With that, Ron, I went a little more in depth than I expected to go, but easy peasy, now and next to now, and building from meeting to meeting, which is Thursday to Thursday for us now. And with that, I can't tell you guys how much Ron, Ken, Tony, Dr. Jim, Shane, Gordon, how much they care about you. All of the leadership on here, I shouldn't have started names. We are a family of a new business, and we're excited about it, and we love it. And we will do whatever you need and whatever it takes to get your answers, to get you moving. But everybody got to get in their back office and build your card. If you don't get in your back office and duplicate building your card, we got to start helping people to take that step to watch the 5-minute video and get started, because people are stalled out just because they haven't done that 5-minute video. Mm-hmm. People are not doing now and next to now because they haven't done a 5-minute video to build their card. You don't have to build your whole card today. You could put one picture on and get excited and get the heck off the computer. Whatever you got to do, but get your people on it. Get them building it. And what you're going to find, like a 80-year-old lady that I know and a 76-year-old lady that I know, that Shane tells a story often of, that built their card themselves in a couple of hours without anybody's help, with just the videos that are there to help them. And nothing, they got more wisdom than I got, but they might claim that their technology skills aren't as good as my daughter's, right? But they've done it. And if they can do it, you can do it. But for some reason, there's a mental block there. So maybe someday we just do a mental toughness call on building your card. I don't know. But with that, Ron, we want to have fun building this. We want to utilize each other. We want to share the burden and spread the burden around of building your business. That lightens the burden for us all. And now we're duplicatable. Nobody feels overwhelmed. God bless you, Ron. Thanks for allowing me to share today.
I appreciate you, Thomas, so much. I really, really do. Let me exit full screen here. Let me get this done. Okay, so here's the deal, guys. It's very important that you need to understand. What he just did is he went back again to, like he said, old school. I relate to old school. And it's because, I'm just going to say something. When technology came about and the internet came about and all these smartphones came about, it changed the entire industry. It changed it. Because what it did is it took the definition of what this industry's always been about, which is connecting with each other, making friends with each other, relating to each other, doing things together, and it did this, separated everybody. That's what it did. And as far as what's going on now, I mean, we got to get back to, this is a relationship business. That's what it is. It's a relationship business. And if you're not trying to build relationships with your team, I'm just going to say something. If you got people in your team that's 4 or 5 levels deep and you don't know what they're doing and they got some good things going on, I don't know about that. That means you're letting the new technology take over your business. Let me explain something to you. When it comes to technology, technology is one thing. It's just a platform for an introduction. That's all it is. That's all Facebook is. That's all the internet is. It's just a platform for an introduction when it comes to people. There's this saying out there that says, get from high tech and go to high touch. Guys, he's talking about exposures. And I don't know, most of you here has a Facebook account. I know you do. And on that Facebook account, I don't know how many friends you have. But I know if you've got Instant Messenger, every one of them you can reach out to on Instant Messenger. Instead of sending somebody a text, here's an exposure for you. Grab that phone and get on Instant Messenger and go to your Facebook account and just start hitting the microphone. Hey, it's Ron. Hey, Thomas, it's Ron. We've been friends on Facebook for a while. We haven't talked very much. What are you up to? I want to introduce myself. Hit me back. That's it. That starts it. That starts it. And it puts a different perspective because, wait, they're talking to me. It is amazing to me that what this internet and stuff has done. When somebody go, well, that's different. They talk to me. Let me talk to them. It wasn't a text. Think about that for a minute. Think about it. Somebody actually talked to me. Let me talk back to them. It's crazy. And we can build. Technology is important. We can build. But technology does one thing. It makes the introduction for you. It makes the introduction for you. If you want to go build a business on nothing more than just running people through a system and putting them in there and never talking to them, welcome to building on sand, because that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. If you want to go build a business that's going to be solid as a rock, you got to build the foundation. How do you build a foundation? Hey, Thomas, it's Ron. How are you doing? Can I help you today? Is there anything I can do? What's your list look like? What are we planning on doing this week? It's Monday. What's your check want to be at the end of Sunday? How many people do you want to put in? What does your list look like? When are you going to do three-way phone calls? Just kind of curious. I can make myself available to you. How can I help you? That's what building business is. That's what taking the lead is. Thomas didn't build businesses with tens of thousands of people in it. Ken didn't build businesses with tens of thousands of people in it. Scotty Merker didn't build two businesses with 125,000 people in it at the same time, because they let the internet or they let technology take care of it for them. Not how it happened. Same with me. I didn't put tens of thousands in a business because I let that happen. No, it's because I made a decision. I made a decisive decision to do what? To lead. To lead. You have to make that decision. It's a simplistic system. And if everybody does it, it's very easy to do, but you got to make a decision. It's really simple. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? How bad do you want what you wrote down that you said you wanted when you first got started? How bad do you want it? It always comes back to the same thing for me. And what he said at the beginning of this thing hit home. Stop focusing on what's going wrong and start focusing on what you can do right. That's what he said. I heard it loud and clear. I don't know who else heard it, but I heard it. I always hear those things. Because I had a guy tell me a long time ago, and by the way, that's called BAM Fam, what he's telling you about, book a meeting from a meeting. I've learned that one very well, BAM Fam. But what I want to tell you is this. I always heard from a guy that was absolutely 100% true. Here's what he said. Ron, if you get people calling to you and they're complaining about their business, ask them one question. One question. I said, what's that? Ask them when's the last time they sponsored somebody. Because 99% of the time, the ones that's calling you, Ron, complaining about what's going wrong are the ones that's not putting anybody in. He said, new blood takes care of old problems. It's true. Very true. So, Thomas, I want to thank you very much for spending your time here this evening. I do. We've got some great things coming, guys, as far as the changes that are going to be made. We got things coming along the way that's going to change our schedule. We got an onboarding process that's going to make it simple for everybody. It's going to be simple now. Nothing difficult. We're a new company. We're a new company. Here's the good part. You're one of the first ones here. Here's the bad part. You're one of the first ones here. That's just the way it is. You know, would you like to be in that garage that time when Mark Zuckerberg was sitting around with four other guys going, maybe I got this idea called Facebook? I mean, I'm not saying we're Facebook, but what I'm saying is this. We don't have any competition that I'm aware of. We don't. And, you know, one of the things that look, I'm sorry if you're new here. This is the first time you've met me. I'm a pretty direct guy. I'm pretty direct. I am. I don't beat around the bush. I'm passionate about what I do. That's probably why I'm direct. And I'm going to go ahead and apologize now because I probably said something that ruffled some people's feathers. I'm good at doing that. But if I did, I'm sorry. But I just want to tell you something. This is the truth. If you want to build your business, if this is something you want to do, you got to put together some goals and you got to hit the numbers. It's a numbers business. I know it sounds cliche, Ron. I hear it. It's a number. It is a numbers business. You got to come up on Monday and go, today starts my paycheck. Monday through Sunday. How much do I want to make? Okay, I got to do this. Put a list together and follow it. Like if you're running a business. It's a business. If you spent $1 million on a business, I guarantee you, you would not be sitting on your rusty dusty, eating bonbons, watching television, going, who am I going to call next? You wouldn't. You wouldn't do it. You got too much money to lose. Here, what you got to lose? $49. I told Shane when we started, it needs to be $200. No, Ron, we can't do that. We won't have anybody. There's not enough skin in the game. And I'm going to tell you right now, we are not a novelty product. A lot of people look at this bump car and they look at this bumper and they go, that's just a novelty product. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not a novelty product. When you really get out there and you really spend your time talking to people about what this is and what this does and what it replaces and how it works as a marketing tool, it's not a novelty product. We've got companies with many, many people coming to us going, we want your product. Not a novelty product anymore. It's not. So we're about to turn this whole thing around. This whole company's getting ready to turn around. Nothing's going to change on your pay, okay? It's okay. Let me clear that up right now, because every time I heard that before in other companies, oh God, here they come. They're fixing to change the compensation plan. No, we're not. We're not. All we're doing is restructuring things where you can have an easy, duplicable system that works for you. That's it. Whether you're a novice person, whether you're a kin with 38 years, we want everybody doing the same protocol so everybody gets the same results. That's all it is to it. The results happen from you doing the action. It doesn't get any easier. Thanks, Thomas. Thank you so much, brother. Thank each and every one of you for being here. You hung out here with us for longer than an hour. Longer than an hour. Wait, I got to see this. Hold on. Hold on, I got to see it. Don't put it down yet. Hold on. Be the leader. Love what you do. Have fun with your friends. Thank you. On that point, we're leaving. We're out of here. Tomorrow night, possibly, I'm not going to guarantee it, possibly I'll have a new presentation for you. What I'm going to suggest you do, get your team here. Get your prospects here. We'll see how it goes. Good night, everybody. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow.